All right, so I literally just started this video off the dome, but so today we're going to be talking about daily bias. And personally, sorry, let me just fix this. Okay, better. Personally, I think daily bias is one of my strongest understandings. Sorry. Daily bias I'm very good at. Sometimes my issue is just having the wrong timing on the entry. So what I would do, I'd enter and it would retest the same zone, and that's like the most likely way I'd stop out, but it would generally go in my direction. So that's why daily bias is so great for me, is because if I mark like this low out, like today I had very specific lows marked out. I had these lows marked out, and then I just started playing within these ranges of these highs and at this high marked, and so I know where the market wants to go. Only issue is that finding an entry within it. It's like, for example, I knew it wanted to go to this high. Clearly it did. But this inversion, why didn't it bounce off of it? There's there's plenty of reasons, but I didn't take this entry. I'm just giving an example because there is this 1 minute fair value gap it respected and then went down. I actually did take this entry though here. Even though my bias was bearish, I knew that I could take this short because it swept out all of this, generated liquidity right here, right? And then it swept out this major sell side, and it swept out this minor internal liquidity with an inversion. So this is kind of just a market recap. And then I took an entry, put my stop like around here, I remember, for a better risk reward, and then up to here, with the first take profit being here, second being here. And I have pictures of this because I don't want to just act like I'm just, bullshitting. All right, there you go. And it eventually hit TP, as you can see. So that was how I took that long, even though I had a bearish bias on the day, which did additionally play out. But today I saw as well, this was a huge move down. And so I generally waited for this equilibrium. Like, I wanted to see this equilibrium get retraced into. Okay, let's just get into the daily bias for the next day. For March 15th, I'm going to determine the daily bias. Right now it's 11:32 p.m. New York Eastern Time, March 14th. All right, so if you see all of this, we're in a bullish uptrend. Now, I'm waiting, honestly. I feel like even though we just been breaking through highs, we can still be bullish because we've just been completely bullish. But I'm bearish, and I'll explain why. I know it doesn't sound smart contradicting what the overall bias is on the weekly and stuff, but I feel like we're bearish because we broke a 4-hour structure to the downside after closing beneath this low. We can retrace into this fair value gap, but eventually I hope that we reject off of this. Now, this is just what I'm thinking. And also, additionally, what supports, and I don't even know where there's this big gap right now in ES, but what supports my bias as well is this generated liquidity here. These two lows, well, three, all of these are kind of, I want to see them get ran through. And additionally, is that when I see a zone like this, 1, 2, 3, this one got swept, and then 4, 5, I know that there's a lot of resting liquidity right above these highs. This is a zone of pure liquidity. So I know the market is going to come up to here. And I want to see it optimally sweep out this high. And listen, if I'm calling this out, use it, please. And if I'm wrong, just don't trust me as a reliable source. But this is just my opinion. We have 1, 2, 3 generated highs. And usually when when one candle doesn't sweep out the other like this, that's it generating liquidity, right? This one swept it. So I feel like the market's going to do a run up in the morning. We're in the pre-market, whatever time it does, and then eventually reject off of that 4 hour. And then you could target other points of liquidity like these lows here. Now, the issue is with the market, and obviously your daily biases really primarily should be bullish, right? So I'm kind of guessing a reversal, which is hard to do. Like, that's probably one of the hardest ways to have a daily bias. But let me talk about how I know about these daily biases. And let me see this real quick. So as you can see, we have like this highs. So let's see how that looks on NASDAQ. All right, so it wasn't a divergence. I still got markers on this chart. Yeah, so on NASDAQ, it's looking bearish as well. It's looking a little more bearish than, honestly, than the S&P. But I do think that it wants to at least hit this low, right? And why I think that, broke structure here to the downside. It left a fair value gap that will probably be seen again, played again. And as you can see, we also rejected off of this one. So the SIBIs are being respected as a good PDU rate to take it off of. And I feel like you see this low here, and this really helped me. So pay attention. This really helped me determine what is a good zone to target liquidity. Now, you're probably saying, "Oh, why isn't this high a good zone of liquidity?" Because it's just this is like a major high, and there's not going to be much resting liquidity above it. But lows like this, where there's a low, didn't tap. Now, retail traders see this zone as support. So it's supporting their bias if they want to be bullish. So clearly, it never swept out. This is where their stop loss would have been, right? And it never swept it out. So they have their stops underneath there and underneath here, right? Now, the reason it helps is because, I mean, right now it looks like it's going well for them, but it's going to get swept out eventually, and it's going to come through hard. And that's what I think we're in the process of doing right now. I think that we're going to come tap into this fair value gap, retract off of that. I think that's going to be the big move. And additionally, any retail traders that are in short, as you can see, we're generating buy side liquidity, which is like internal buy side liquidity, which is going to support our bias even better if it gives us a push up and then a move down that we want to see. So look for shorts within these areas. If you're looking at NASDAQ, it would have been better if this zone wasn't swept out this low, but look for areas like that. We already broke structure to the downside, and you can see we respected the fair value gaps, and I believe we rebalanced to equilibrium. So yeah, my bias was bearish today, but the market just moved down too quick within like that. Look at that. Look at that 5-minute candle. Just completely moved down too quick. So I based my whole day off of the equilibrium of that range kind of on ES. Anyway, I want to see the market hit these highs and then move lower. And so that's my daily bias for March 15th. If you have any questions, let me know because it was kind of quick. I don't know how to really commentate my thoughts. It's kind of just, I've been looking at the market so much, just hours on looking at the market. I leave markers on my chart so I can look back at them. And I haven't looked back at this one, but this one played out well, as you can see. It was probably on this low. This was another short I was supposed to take because, and I can explain this one real quick. You have this high and this 1 hour chart. So you have all these hours of just respecting this high, right? And this goes back to, honestly, you see it everywhere. This is the accumulation. This is a pure manipulation to sweep out this high. retail traders will buy here, right, to go along. They think it's a breakout, and then they just get completely wrecked. And then you target sell side liquidity, and you target very nicely. You hit all these lows, came back up, eventually swept out this, so trickled around. You just gotta play out the chart. You can just see how it's just coming back, but I don't like how this low never swept this, and there's a lot of untapped lows. We did consolidate a lot today, but sorry, I'm just a little tired. Anyway, if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching. Good luck trading.